Alright, I am here with Zareth San the Trickster. I think it's a pretty cool commander. It's kind of close to Chromium without white, and you get value when he hits your opponent, not necessarily when, just being like a hard to deal with 7/7 Flying Dragon or whatever. So we'll see how this goes. I crafted some new cards that I probably should have crafted 1,000 years ago. Pact of Negation, Swan Song, and there's a couple others. If I bump into them, I'll realize. We're playing 3 of the 2-mana lose all abilities Frogify effects. We're playing things that give this hexproof, which you kind of see in like Niv Mizzet sometimes, Perun. We're trying that strategy. I have Thief of Sanity in here to stay maybe on the theme of stealing my opponent's cards, which is kind of what this does. Same with Gonti. Scarab God as well. Spell Swindle seems decent because you, on turn 5, right, like this has flash, so you're leaving up 5 mana, your opponent might think you're going to cast this, and they're like, oh, I don't care, I'm going to play a giant blocker or something. But you have a 5 mana counterspell that's like really good. So we'll see how that works. Although I don't really like expensive counterspells. I'm going to try that one. What's the Planeswalker? Kaito is in here basically as another Phyrexian arena. So I don't know how that's going to pan out, but I'm willing to try. This does not have flying. For some reason, I keep thinking it does, even though I think he's like actually underwater in the art. So it's like the last thing he'd be doing is flying. So it might be hard to actually hit your opponent with this because it doesn't have flying. So if I could run more cheap flyers like Thief of Sanity to put this into play, but I don't believe you can use his ability from the command zone. So I'd have to flash him in and then like somehow return him to my hand and do all that, and that obviously doesn't seem like a good idea in any way. Nor would I want to do that because I'd have to play a ton of these like cheap 1-mana creatures to just try to poke my opponent with. I just don't want to do that. Your opponent needs cards in their graveyard for this to do something pretty decent, right? So if I have half my deck just turning him on, it's harder to get valuable things in my opponent's graveyard outside of just discard spells. Also, graveyard hate isn't great because I don't want to exile my opponent's graveyard. So we're just kind of sticking with Cling to Dust. And I guess technically Zareth can steal valuable things from your opponent's graveyard as well. John of the Loch, again, we're not really attacking our opponent's graveyard super heavily, so I think this could be consistently online, hitting things that are relevant. All the discard spells, a bunch of counter spells. Oh yes, Bantu's. Where are you? Bantu's Last Reckoning. I think this is decent. 3 mana, like, if you're against an aggro deck, I guess, and you can take a turn off, just play a land, pass back. Just an early total sweeper seems really good. Especially one that happens before I'm even trying to cast Zareth. Doesn't work super great with counterspells, but in times of desperation, you might have to just cast a Bantu's. Running the Tutors, Crux of Fate. Elders Reborn is wishy-washy, but last game, I liked it. Or the last video I made, I had it in there. It wasn't terrible, so we're going to try that. I also ran out of, like, card ideas to put in the deck, so I inevitably actually have an above average amount of lands that I tend to, like, I don't run this many lands usually, but I ran out of cards that I felt like, oh, I don't want really any more, so I'll just toss in lands before I inevitably do it later, right? Actually, with that in mind, I might add an island. So yeah, we'll see how this fares. I think it's going to be pretty good. Oh yeah, I have bounce spells as well. I think just 2 though. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and let's roll with some Zareth. I've not playtested this at all, as I had just made it, which is usually what I do. Also, I haven't made a video in a week, but let's see, I hung out with people on one of the days I usually make videos, and then the other day, I think I'm like, I'm going to go take a shower, and then I was in the shower for like 2 hours, and I'm like, I guess I'm not making a video. I just chose not to. But here we are, doing it now. Yes. Yes. So that's Teferi, the nerfed one, yep. Might have a hard time dealing with a Thief of Sanity if I can get it in play. So that feels interesting. Though maybe not, I don't know. blue-white, it's not shy of spot removal. We'll see. If I untap with it, I get to, like, plating, and I get to cast Thief of Sanity before my opponent gets on to turn 4 to just start bouncing it, by which I can, like, give it hexproof or something. I believe... Yeah, I can't flash in my commander, so this is, like, the penultimate worst matchup, because I can't, like, do the thing I'm trying to do, which is kind of annoying, actually. Alright, so I want to play this. I don't know how many creatures they're running, and it's just a tap land. My second black source for Phyrexian Arena seems like a good idea to just have in play. Looks like they're leaving something up. This is a good thing to play right now, but I'd rather just run this out. Force my opponent to, like, do something about it. That is extremely annoying. Hopefully they needed lands, though. Of course they didn't. Why would they? Now, with the route we've taken, we don't have a counterspell out next turn. What? Okay, that's a really weird card. I guess I'll do this. Maybe my opponent accidentally gives me, like, Spell Pierce or something. Though, to be honest, their commander isn't actually all that scary. It is just kind of annoying because I'm a blue-black deck, but it's not the end of the world really at all. It does mean I can't cast my commander, though. Can it bounce? It cannot. Oh, it can bounce. Yeah, alright. They pitched two pretty solid cards. A Sweeper and an Elspeth Conqueror's Death. That's nice. I really don't care about their commander. Okay. Yeah, it's just in play now. I don't have counterspells, but I can force them to bounce this and just put it to my hand. It does make them draw. How do I deal with this? Might not care enough. No, I think just casting more spells and just doing things is better. It is a card draw engine sort of for our opponent, but that's not really all that bad. I just have to see how they actually close the game out. That's a way to close the game out. Bloodchief's Thirst is pretty decent here. So is a Manland, but it is not coming in this turn, so it's not great. Because it's coming in tap next turn. It does attack Teferi, though. We do have Hall of the Storm Giants as well. They're counting my lands. I don't know why. What Teferi is this? Up to 1? This is that... Okay, I've played this as my commander at one point. Yeah, it's that weird untappy one. Alright, well, this is annoying now. Hall of the Storm Giants, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How much is this to activate? 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just make sure I don't have to tap it. 1, 2, 3. Last time I fired up a Manland, I messed up, and it was so devastating, it, like, cost me the game. So, let's try to avoid that, shall we? They do not have enough mana to deal with this, so I can just do this here. It's really nice. Can't do anything about that. They don't have enough mana. Alright, so I can attack this Teferi again next turn, depending on how much mana they have untapped. Because it's Ward 4. Or no, Ward 3. I'd rather avoid Swords of Plowshares. But as long as they don't have a win condition in play, I don't really care if Teferi sits around. Opponent has every turn found a win condition. This is one we don't have a clean answer to. And I know for a fact they're not going to block. That would be kind of crazy. So I'm kind of in desperation mode. I need something like Eldest Reborn. Oh, that doesn't even work because they'll sacrifice Teferi. That doesn't really work either. It forces them to pitch a card, though, but that's not really all that great. Guess I'll do these two. I'll lead with Duress. Maybe I can make them lose both cards in hand, but then they just draw a bunch of cards off the trawler. Commit to memory. Well, that's bad. They can pitch commit to memory whenever they choose with their thing here. Alright, I mean, I don't know. They don't even have to pitch anything to this. They don't have to. They can just bounce it with Teferi. But something's telling me they're not realizing that is an option. Yep. Probably would have made more sense. I'm picking my hair again, sorry. They played a land, which is weird. I have Crux of Fate, right? That phases it out. But I think this is a counterspell. Because they haven't used it yet. And they probably don't care about Teferi living or dying. I think this game is probably over now. I can just try to eat memory. Well, it worked, I guess. Oh, they can cast it at sorcery speed, right? Because of the Teferi Plus. Does Dream Trawler get a bunch of triggers? It does. At least it's tapped. Oh, that doesn't matter. Alright, so there's really no way I'm ever killing this Dream Trawler. Probably. Like, ever. I can kill Teferi? And then find a way to have it so they have nothing else in play, I guess? And then try to get Eldest Reborn to resolve? I'm kind of surprised to see that. Yeah, they don't... That felt very strange. I don't think I would have done that if I were them, but I don't know their hand. Just feels kind of weird, but okay. They're letting me kill Teferi again. I mean, they're hitting me and drawing cards while they're doing this. It just doesn't seem like it's all that good. Oh. Can I deal with... I can deal with the shark before it blocks. So I will. I don't have much of a choice. Opponent did not do anything, but we don't have a discard spell now. I can try to bait one discard or counter spell like with this because it phases Dream Trawler out. That might disrupt our opponent to some degree that they feel like they have to counter this. Looks like they do, but we don't have a way to punish it. It's also a chance they have 26 counter spells in play. Yep, looks like we just lost to being unable to do anything. I don't know why that's an oops. You drew 16 cards and I drew 2. I can't really win. Their commander is not like great, but it was like it's the worst matchup when your commander is trying to flash into play. Like it can't. Yeah, that's a steep ask. Dream Trawler having hexproof. Well, we had some cards that were good, like the 3-mana Soul Siphon or whatever. Like we had good things we could have done. We just never found any of them. I want to keep this on just the back of Into the Royal to bounce a Mana Rock that you know they're going to play. But is that right? I think it is, actually. I think that's the right thing to do. That is extremely strange. It also milled 2 lands. We would have liked to have drawn both of those. So that's really funny. But okay. Did they scry both on top? Oh my god, it's a mana rock. What a surprise. Who would have guessed? Okay, well, I mean, this is what we were going to do, and now we're going to do it. Probably isn't enough, but I don't know. Why is everyone saying oops? I don't understand. I have a gameplay and I'm doing it. People just, I don't know. Maybe it's so abstract people can't, like, process it. They just don't know what's going on. So do we tutor for a land? I think we do. I think we just tutor for a land here. It could be Hive or something. Although I'd prefer it to be Hall. Hey Nathan, what up? What up? Yeah, we're definitely getting a land. And I think it is going to be... Does it have to be a tapped land or an untapped land, or does it matter? Not really. Doesn't really matter. I think I'll just get Hall of the Storm Giants. Now, I did just tutor a card. It's safe to assume I'm going to tutor for a card that answers your commander in this instance, as I know your next turn is probably playing it. It looks like our opponent just didn't play it. That's kind of weird. They also didn't attack. I don't understand. I'm not sure if they've been attacking. It makes really no sense to not... Well, I don't really agree with what my opponent's doing. I don't think that's how you win. I mean, I can just play Teferi. I'm not leaving up a counterspell. Yeah, I'm not leaving up a counterspell, so... I mean, they obviously have a counterspell. Otherwise, what they're doing makes no sense. Memory Drain. That one's different. They've scryed 2 on top twice. Or maybe 3 times, I'm not sure how many times the treasure map put on top. Okay, well, Crux of Fate's not the greatest card, but... Is it better than something else? No, I think I'm going to pitch it. I have enough, like, stuff in hand that kind of just consistently deals with what my opponent's doing, so... That's fine. They have 1 card in the graveyard. We'll play Maze Mind's Tome. They can kill their own Nicol Bolas. They are a Grixis deck. I think we need to scry for a land. This milling 2 lands was crazy. That really ended up mattering, huh? That's wild. We don't have a swamp, right? We just don't have a swamp, so this is actually tapped. Probably fine, though. Probably. Still have things I can do. This also forces them... Like, they can block with their commander on my thing. But they don't have anything in their graveyard, so I don't really care to... What the heck? Okay, they milled me? What? Enters the battlefield... Why? Okay. Let's see. This is a... I'll just leave up the draw. I won't do it on my own turn. Is this like a mill deck? I don't understand. Okay, so now they're going to start milling themselves. That's pretty cool. They didn't attack. I'm kind of confused. Opponent's playing very funky, but they're also playing funky cards, so I don't know what's going on. Oh man, look at all these lands I'm drawing. Well, we can just take 2 damage a turn for a while, if our opponent decides to actually swing. Inquisition? Alright, well this is one I've never had respect for as a card, and I think I'm going to Drown in the Locket. Just to hide the rest of my hand, and Drown isn't doing much right now, so I might as well. I don't believe I need to draw a land immediately, but I guess I can put a stop here anyways. Okay, I don't need to draw land because I'm just going to exile that with Feed the Serpent. Alright, they figured out how to attack. It's not good for us. That is technically a land, and I don't see us using it to kill anything, so let's play it as a land, and let's kill Ujin before it runs away with the game. Now we're in an issue, like I'm trying to, at this point, my goal would be like steal Ujin out of their graveyard. Because they do have a permanent... Oh no, we got exiled. Feed the Serpent exiled. Excuse me, that does actually not work. That is some anti-synergy. So there is still nothing to steal out of the graveyard. I was going to say we've seen more cards in them, but they've milled us for some reason. Opponent's just playing Angrath. Okay. Yep, you can play that card. Let's get rid of our hexproof card as it is not doing anything. Now this has to go real soon. That's just a problem. They blow up my Feed the Swarm. I'm going to scoop. We're way, way, way behind, and our hand is just poop. I'm going to take out the hexproof cards and stuff. Giving our commander hexproof is great, except we're never, ever, ever in a situation where we have our commander in play. And counterspells are probably supposed to be good enough at defending him anyways, or at least I would imagine, so... Or I'm beginning to imagine. So I'm going to drop the hexproof creature defensive spells as they are completely useless if your commander is not in play. Which seems to be the case more often than not. So I kind of want to play things that generate value that are maybe slower, so we're not just slowly falling behind, which it seems to be the case. I still really don't like Narset. I've never been a fan of Narset. Kind of want to run Ujin on my own. It is kind of like a Meteor Golem that draws cards. We already had Jason here. This is like a Phyrexian Arena. I don't like Professor Onyx that much, but I do like Dreadhorde General. I'm not a big fan of Professor Onyx. I just draw cards though, but still. The Magecraft part is pretty decent. Like, my whole deck is relevant with the Magecraft part, but like you're stealing 2 life slowly is... I don't think that's gonna turn a game around for us ever. It's been a while since I played a Liliana Dreadhorde General. Alright, we'll try it. It is like a win condition too. Like, it does have an ultimate that wins instantly. I also like Karn. It is sort of card advantage. Although the tokens are small, we're not running a ton of stuff. I don't know if I want to run Mana Rocks. I'm not really running any right now. And I don't like running just one. It seems like it's just not ever worth it. But maybe we could drop something else to run a couple more. I've been just kind of off of them for a while lately. Just haven't been big on Mana Rocks. Trying to think. So if we drop the Frogify effects... The problem with the Frogify effects is, like, if I put it on my opponent's commander, that does mean Zareth can't really swing, because then they just block with the frog, and they get their commander back. But that does mean I did untap with this, and probably have counter magic to fight back if they go for it again. So, maybe they're still worth it. Maybe just one? Maybe we don't need them. Maybe we have enough removal. Alright, I'll run the Mana Rocks. Let's just do that. think that's fine. Mind Stone, this one, and I guess Guardian Idol. There's a lot of double colored spells in here. There's a lot of them. I think it's fine. All right, we're just gonna do it. Yeah, save changes? Yes. Would you really like to save changes? Yes. Okay, are you sure? I don't know anymore, I swear. I got to Platinum with 9 lives, just spamming it. Surprisingly, a lot of non-aggro decks in Best of 1 Historic. I did not expect it. Oh, well, I guess it depends if you think Elves is like aggro. I guess the game ends by turn 5, so probably is. I'll keep this. Against Oswald, I think like this. Mono White does not really incur advantage. But Oswald does. We'll see. Oswald can do it. But Thief of Sanity feels like a good... Ooh, that was a really good draw. Now I get to kill their commander. Which is kind of massive because they won't be doing anything for a while when it's dead. It does not have haste, so they can't like instantly use it to do anything. There's like Glass Casket, Portable Hole, which doesn't deal with this, and some other things. There's not a ton of things that do, though. I will kill that. It's just a matter of how. I suppose I'll use Murderous Rider. It's my most, like, generic answer to things, and Feed the Swarm might blow up an enchantment that's important at some point. Wow, I hit someone with Thief of Sanity? Oh my god. Oh, we hit a Godfurl statue. Alright, well, we won't be casting that for a while. Oh, well, alright. Guess that's all over and done with. Was this crew 3? Would like to hit a land. Actually, we can lead with check for traps. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. What? All of these are really weird. I guess I'll take that one. Those are really weird cards. Let's eat a land, see if we can find one. We do not. It's also not great in this matchup because there's a lot of colorless things they do. But they don't have their commander online yet. Like, they haven't even... Okay, so this draws a card, then you can sack it to basically do nothing. So you're just using Oswald on it. That's the whole point. They found a way to crew, because of course they did. But they do not crew. That's weird. Oh, nope, they did it. Opponent figured it out. What else does this do? Is it just a... No, it continuously lightning bolts. Okay, so we can kill both of these creatures, and I think I will, because it might be their only creature for like a while, potentially, and I can wind up making it so they never crew out this stupid Sky Sovereign, and I also have nothing else to do, so... Except leave this up, which I will not do. Okay, well that can be scary, but they have to have something to go with it. Hope of Geoper is a little annoying. Of course, they find a way to crew it. Because why wouldn't they? Now we are objectively dead, because that is an 8-5. Alright, well, that was an unbelievable string of draws from our opponent. But we didn't draw any lands. Though we weren't... Well, no, we had things we could draw. Lands would have turned on more stuff, but... Okay, yeah. Yeah, they drew insane off the top there. That's crazy. I don't know how many creatures Oswald tends to run. But, they only had one creature, and it was a 1/1, but they had a Forsaken Monument, so... Would have discarded that if I saw it earlier, but they drew it after a point in which they could cast it and continue to cast other things in the same turn. Alright, so we're 0-3. This is looking grim. This hand is... it's all blue mana with all black spells. Oh god. Alright. Alright, this is... okay. Blue-green is the strongest color combination in my opinion, so we'll see how we fare. Blue-green X maybe, but just blue-green in general tends to be rather obscene. So do we flash this? I think I'm going to foretell this. We have answers to a single, like, resolved threat, and on 3 I'm not scared of anything. Okay. This makes treasure tokens? It does. That is actually a must-answer threat, though. That's actually annoying. That is annoying. Yeah, because I don't want them to get a treasure token of any degree, because then they can just instantly tap Yova and that gets under my counterspell. So just play a ramp spell for a turn. There. There we go. There we go. That's good. I was kind of hoping they were doing that last turn. I don't really care about those. So we need to draw a land or we lose the game. Let's just start there. It's a tap land, so that's not good. I think I might bottom it for an untapped land, actually. Because I need to leave up my Saw It Coming here. Might not be good enough, because they do have a floating mana when they cast a Tatyova. Looks like they didn't even bother. Wanted to play a land after. Makes sense. They can play it again next turn, but we have Tail's End. Gonti. No, we're gonna Tail's End. They have to play a land first this time. Zendikar's Royal is annoying. They don't have any land. I don't want that. What can we do with 5 mana? Not really anything. Oh, wait. We can play our commander. Right. So I guess I'll just try that. We can steal something that's somewhat decent. I really would never counter that anyways, but it does provide our opponent blockers. Probably 2. Yep. So I'm going to assume that's what they drew. Seems like it. Alright, let's see what this can do now. They can block it kind of forever, honestly. What is this, a bounce spell? Okay, I guess? What? No, that works. I mean, you could just keep blocking it, though. It's kind of weird. Figured you'd want to do that. Gonna have to play this as a land. And we can take an extra turn, and then I don't really know what to do with it. We can flip this, maybe, if we find something to flip, get rid of off the top. But unless I have something like Cosmos Elixir in play already, I don't really like casting Time Word just to cycle. So I'm not going to. This cannot block things that don't have flying. Doesn't usually come up, but... Alright. They probably just didn't draw a land again, but they had mana. They had a full hand and a card to flash in. Like, this wasn't a bad spot. I don't understand. What was their hand? They had no lands in their hand. They had 6 cards. Why do you scoop here? I have a single counterspell, and it's only for legendaries? And if you make me do anything on your turn, I don't have mana to cast this now. The bounce was still weird in my opinion, but... yeah, I would have probably even bounced Search for Azcanta before I bounced this thing. You can just keep blocking it, right? I'm not going to double removal spell. Even if I had it, I'm not really interested in hitting you super fast. I'm not getting anything out of it. This is weird, though. I don't think I would have scooped there. But I don't know their hand. I don't know, maybe the pizza guy showed up? They had to go. But no, they scooped at like a integral point. They didn't scoop because like they untapped Drew and then scoop, right? Pizza guy did not show up. Hey Di, what up? What up? Ugh. We're just slowly coming back with the Zareth list. Alright, hopefully all of our wins aren't just against Tatyova. Do I play a lot of Historic Brawl? I would say I do, yes. I have a whole YouTube channel if you haven't checked that out. I think there should be a link to it in my actual Twitch stream, but I'm not sure. I think there is. Unless the URL has bjorked. I really do like these slow lands. I like these a lot. The check lands, the slow lands. What is a Blackblade? What? For each land you control? Okay, so our opponent is interested in trying to punch us in the face. That's different. Alright, I'm gonna just leave up counterspells, I guess. I would like to play Maze Mind's Tome, but they had mana to... Wait, they had something to do there, and they didn't do it? I don't know what blue-green could have that they weren't going to cast. Like, just floating mana, but it holds priority at the same time. I really have no idea what's going on. It's not a growth spiral. I mean, it could be Cycle Land. It could be a Fog. It could be a Brazen Bower. I don't know. Farm Historic, since there is no Historic Brawl events. Okay, I really don't care about this card at all. There's no way to farm an event. It just happens to be whatever it is, right? Like the midweek event tends to not be a Historic Brawl or really anything that's Brawl. At this point, I guess I have enough mana to feel fine about leaving up Zareth. I don't know. Looks like the card at instant speed is 3 or more, because they didn't hold on 2. I guess this is annoying if they have a fetch land, but they don't yet. Harrow? Alright, well, that is annoying. I think I will negate that. I think that's negate worthy. I'm just going to negate it. They get their land back, but, you know, that's fine. Not doing anything. Just deny our opponent things, I guess. Alright, so I'm going to draw a card here. I mean, you can farm Historic Brawl with just some random, like, aggro deck, and then just keep playing until you win 4 games, or how many games you're trying to play. But there's not really anything to quote-unquote farm in whatchamacallit, in Magic Arena. Except like 15 wins for the day, which would in turn just simply be search your library for a basic. Okay, simply be just playing some aggro deck. Usually what people do. If you want like historic cards specifically, this is a strange attack, but I am willing to trade a counterspell with Zareth, so they clearly have one. Otherwise, the attack makes absolutely no sense. But Zareth is not doing anything right now, so I am fine with trading a counterspell. That is totally fine. I forced them to do it here, too, on their own turn, in combat. Very strange. Very strange. Don't really agree with what our opponent just did. Okay, so... do we play Thief of Sanity? I think I want to try. I won't defend it. Well, I can't, but... I'll run it out. Maybe it's the 3-mana loot, Faithless Looting counterspell that has, like, the option to... No? Okay. Just that. Fine. I'm not going to fight back. I don't think it's that integral to my game plan. And we're going to play another untapped land so I can still leave up Counter Magic and a Maze Mind's Tome activation, which I think would be a good idea. But yeah, just play aggro. Just play aggro. I've also noticed when you're playing like an all commons deck, you tend to play against different decks. So like there's some sort of power level tier you can put yourself in to have a higher chance to like actually win a game. And if you're like, I wouldn't bang my head against the wall. I would just play like a few games and call it a day there. Like 4 wins a day is what I go for on a day where I'm not playing Magic Arena a lot, because the first 4 wins give you the most resources for your time. But you can go all the way to 15 if you're, playing on your phone or whatever. Yeah, we're going to counter this, so let's do that. I can't Zareth in response, or back, but again, Zareth is not in a position to do anything I'm excited about. Opponent is also now tapped out. I can go for Liliana, 1, 2, 3, and still leave up a Divide by 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. So that's pretty good. Oh, and a Pact of Negation. That's quite nice. So double Counterspell with a massive threat in play. I just plus it till I win at this point. Oh, you're saying I should run some mill because of Zareth? That's true. You can try that if you want to mill your opponent. We could look into some mill cards. I just... Ooh, it is never a good idea to mill your opponent deliberately. It's never good. Like, value mill to incur advantage with your commander that... Like, so far in every game, we haven't even been in a position where I actually hit my opponent with Zareth. So, and this is what, the 5th game? What is this? They're reading Liliana? What? Return target artifact. Okay, I mean that, yeah. Oh, yeah, yep. I cannot do anything about that. They can't spam it. I guess I'll just run it back out. That was an interesting one. I feel like they should have done that on a turn where I was about to ultimate and not, like, right now for no reason. It's kind of weird to me. It's kind of weird. Volkmar, what up? Did you 100% Elden Ring yet? Did you get all the achievey chams? All right, let's divide by 0 that. Actually, wait a minute. It causes ability to permanently control. They've... I don't... Legendaries... This doesn't give trample, and I don't care how many lands they have. I think we can play extremely conservative with our counterspells. And just prevent our opponent from actually dealing with Liliana seems like a far better prospect than just stopping this thing that gives them, like... Actually, it has no value right now. It's just another Ramunet Excavator. It doesn't give them additional land drops for the turn. They can only do that once. They can equip the Black Blade, but it doesn't give trample. Yep, opponent probably sees the writing on the wall that I'm leaving up counterspells for things that are actually relevant, and that is not one of them. I might still have to kill one of their threats, so I don't fall behind with my zombie tokens. But yeah, that was the 5th game we've played, and we have not stuck our commander. So I don't think we should be concerned about, like, trying to mill right now. I don't know. I also just don't think that's ever a good idea, because usually your opponent, like, if your opponent's playing anything in black or just blue-green, you could mill over Uro, and then your opponent just has an Uro now, right? Like, we've played Tauva twice. I'm sure both have Uro. If I ever mill Uro, I've given my opponent just, like, this avenue to victory that they didn't have before, or an avenue to outvaluing me. And I've fueled their own graveyard to actually cast Uro, right? Or Commit to Memory, your opponent can mill that over. Search for Azcanta, your opponent can flip that now. They can exile their own graveyard with, like, a one of the artifacts that just do that, right, incidentally. If you're against Emery, you can't mill your opponent because you'll lose. Like, there's so many things that are just not good to mill. So many things. In this, you would never, ever, ever want to mill this. Like, you just lose, right? Like, you don't ever want to mill your opponent. Like, incidentally, unless it's your win condition. Then, yeah, if you're all in on it and you can somehow pull it off, knock yourself out. But I don't believe that is the case in Historic Brawl in particular, unless Persistent Partitioners is a thing, right? If that's like a mill strategy you can pull off in Historic Brawl, then sure, but that is not something I see happening. Let's play this and that. You started New Game Plus Plus last night to get the last ending. Nice. Are there any other commanders I've enjoyed lately? Colossus. I think Colossus is one of my favorite commanders that I've played, and it's very unlike things I tend to play, because it's just, like, not something red-green is not really my forte, but that commander, I had some really, really cool decks with it that I like to play a lot, so I'd say that one. But that wasn't lately. That was, like, 2 months ago. Lately. I do like Alela, or Alulala, however you say it, the Esper Fairy. That deck strategy seemed really cool, at least the way I found myself building it. I like that one a lot. But I'm kind of all over the place. I don't think I have like a penultimate hard answer for like what my favorite thing is. I tend to enjoy everything I do play because there are plenty of commanders I haven't played because I just know I'm not going to have a good time. So the slower the commander is, the more fun it is for me, I would say, as a metric of what I enjoy. Like I like Teferi Hero of Dominaria, but unfortunately he seems to always play against Scythus or Sithis, so I don't really like Teferi Hero of Dominaria on Magic Arena. Because you just play against Sithis and Keenan, and then you lose. Alright, so we leave up our commander. Our opponent didn't do anything, so collected company? No, nothing. Literally nothing. I am very confused. This could have added mana as well, and they did not do that. Okay, so they're not swinging Llanowar Elves. I'm going to take it. I'm not going to cast my commander, try to block. Seems like a bait of some kind. I don't know. I really don't know why my opponent's not doing anything. Burning Rune Demon. Library for 2 cards, not named. I give you one. I can cast this and then kill this and steal it, right? So we let this resolve. I can kill it, steal it, and not feel too bad. I obviously want to cast this and not cast this. Enters the battlefield. So it's just a tutor, but it's a tutor for the worst of 2. I'm sure there's functional reprints. I don't know what my opponent's after. This is 10 or less. So they can... No, they can't get this because I'm going to steal it. Alright, so we get some Zareth value here. That's pretty cool. Swords and Binding. Put a card to your opponent's hand. We put Binding to their hand so they can't... I don't want them to... Oh, Swords gets milled. Okay, that's pretty cool. I'm not going to scry. Alright, so we cast Soul Shatter. Steal that. We can counter their removal spell, which is kind of great. We can also steal that removal spell, so it actually wasn't a good idea for them to take this. I could have literally stolen that card and put it to the graveyard, which would have been really bad for them. So take action. I think we put 2 counterspells up here. Pact and a 2 mana or less counterspell, like literally counterspell. Just things I can just cast right now that are really good for me. I don't really care which one. I'll probably get Pact, right? Just make it very difficult for them to come back from this. Yep, they probably would give me that one every time. We have an untapped land, so I can actually duress and still leave out double counter magic. Whoa, that's a lot of... Ay, ay, ay. My opponent's hand is all removal. That is kind of insane. But it explains why my opponent wasn't doing anything. Very weird, though. I don't think I like keeping this. I don't think I would keep that. It seems like just really steep. I'm going to counter the sweeper. Actually, I'm going to counter probably everything they throw at me. And they can only cast 1, right? It's not like they can cast 2. Oh, no, they can cast more than 1 because they have all the mana dorks. They're going to kill Zareth? I think that is... I don't think I care about that. Actually, I think I do. Yeah, I think I do. Because now I get to steal Binding if they go for it. But they're probably going to cast... Day of Judgment instead? Probably? That would make sense. No, they don't. Alright. They cast that one, which I can now steal, which is horrible for our opponent. Would have cast the other one. Alright. I'm going to steal your Binding and kill your card with it. Boop. And untap source. Does it matter? Kind of. I can draw off of Maze Mind's Tome. They do have a sweeper now, but I don't... I mean, that's fine. They're not doing anything. Yeah, that's fine. put this to the command zone. Yep. So now I get to try to steal the demon again. They don't have a creature to put their commander on, which means I'm not like instantly scared of anything. That was also a pretty solid draw. I don't have a forest to go get. Inez, the Gale Force, and had a lot of fun. I don't think I've seen... Well, I don't know it by name, but I'm not going to say I haven't seen it before. I think we leave up our commander in this spot. It cost exactly the amount of mana I have, so I'll just play that. This is a graveyard hate card that I can snipe some things randomly with. That is not a creature. This has to mutate when it does its thing. Massacre Worm? Well, that does get in the way. That does get in the way. That works. We're going to cast this, but we have an answer to it, and at this point I think this game is over. Oh, I can actually just blink. Do I bounce this? Feels kind of free to bounce it, right? Yeah. Well, this might just be slightly better, because I get it into play and get to steal even more value as this game progresses. So I win. Yeah, they're probably going to scoop no matter what I did to deal with Massacre Worm. That's really funny. That is a very funny outcome. So we stole Burning Rune, Binding, and I think that was it. Yeah. That's great. That feels like a pretty cool matchup, right? That feels pretty cool. Now, again, if I had like cards that were milling my opponent instead of just playing a control game, then it probably could be easier for them to go for it, and then faster for me to simply just lose the game. All right, so we lost 3 in a row, and then we won 3 in a row. And what is this? What is this card you're talking about? Inez, the Gale Force. I've probably seen it and just don't remember. Well, apparently I don't own it. Oh yeah, the blue-white enchantment thing. 3 or more creatures you control. Oh wait, no, this is not what I thought it was. 3 or more creatures you control with flying attack. Each player gains control of a non-land permanent of your choice, controlled by the player to their right. That's some weird text. I have not played against it or have played it myself. That is a really weird one. The pump is kind of funky. Like, I feel like you never use that because you're just leaving up permission and stuff, flash creatures and whatnot. Like, you never have that mana floating to dump into it. But maybe you do, I don't know. There's a lot of cheap flyers you can play with that. Like, a lot of them. So I feel like you could consistently pull that off. But it is a 5 mana creature, right? Like, it could be... It doesn't have to be in the attack, right? Like, you can swing just with 3 flyers you've played prior and having cast that on 5. Yeah, that seems pretty cool. I've literally never seen it. Never seen it. Okay, so we have a removal spell and a discard spell, and it's hard to ask for more than that, other than a board wipe, so I'm just going to keep it. This game is pretty much over based off of opening hands, and I don't think anything else matters. Of course, they're on the play. Of course, they have a turn 1 Death Touch creature. Yep, so, again, this is the most uninteresting matchup of all time. I'd probably prefer to play against Scythus than this. There's like no decision making other than you're just mulligan. Next turn I check for traps and then I like kill their commander with my Soul Shatter. Kind of weird our opponent did not cast their commander. I feel like that's a grave mistake there. Apparently decisions... There are decisions, I guess. I don't understand. A prey upon, and a hexproof card. Sure. That is not Veil of Summer. Okay, so we take a bunch in poison. We take 4 in poison. Do they have a land? They do. So they need to draw another land to cast Finn again, because I kill it with the Soul Shatter. Play this and pass. Is there any reason to hold on to it? I don't think so. But our opponent can't do anything about it no matter what, so I might as well just force them to go to combat. I don't know. Alright, well, they need to draw land. That's all you need to do. Alright, they found kind of, sort of a land. Kind of. Sort of. Scry on top. So what does this do? Fight. Target creature deals damage. Shaded creature controls. Okay, so this is an instant, but I can only cast one of these, and Counterspell is probably good enough? Probably. So I'll just play this tapped. It also saves me some life. Actually, we can play it untapped so I can still opt. We're not in danger of actually dying to damage. It's not really what this deck is doing, or I would argue is even capable of doing. So, just do this. Yep, get wrecked. Yep, nothing mattered except do we have answers. There was one. I think there was one decision in that entire game, and it was their turn 2 not playing their commander. Now I don't think it mattered because I was going to deal with it anyways. We would have just had 2 poison counters a turn earlier instead of 4 a turn later, and those don't matter unless you have 10, right? So, although technically their commander makes it so you only need to do 5 poison counters, not 10. They had double 1-drop too. That's a pretty tall order to beat, kind of. Well, no, it just means you have to answer their commander slightly faster, because otherwise they're just 1-mana doom nothings. Yeah, so that was probably the only turn that had a choice was what they did on turn 2. And of what they did, I don't know if it was right or not, and I don't think it mattered. I don't think it was an impactful decision, but it was a decision nonetheless. Okay, we're not keeping a 1-land hand. Oh, we got Bantus. Oh boy. We're back to, we've gone full circle, back to Teferi, which is a terrible matchup. This hand is not really good against Teferi, so hopefully Gonti is. I don't know. Let's see what happens. You can proliferate poison counters. Yes. There's a few cards in the game that allow you to do that, and I believe they are actually in green. So, that is something you can do, yes. Authority of the Councils? What the poop? Okay. They have a 1-mana card here, Brainstorm, Opt, something like that. Consider, okay. Yeah, where they proliferate and infect. Yeah, New Phyrexia. Do we play Gonti? No, that seems like suicide. I'm not going to do that. If I can just leave up a counterspell for their commander, that seems like a good idea. Do we draw? No, we have enough cards. We have enough cards. Currently. I will force my opponent to counter Zareth, as I don't think Zareth is all that good. And I think just pulling counterspells out of my opponent's hand is just good. In fact, they'd probably be wise to not counter this. It's probably not a good idea. Alright, that's... okay. Well, they did do it, so... Didn't draw a land. Let's see if we can find one off of a card that's probably not going to do much here. We did not. We'll just pass. Opponent knows my hand is all gas. We know they just drew a plains. Do we divide by 0? It doesn't make them do anything, except... it does allow me to loot, but it is kind of a counterspell, and it could be important. Alright, we'll just lose a bunch of life here. Still no card land. Come on, there we go. Alright, so I'll just pass now. Discard probably Bantus. Doesn't seem too great. Opponent has missed the land drop, just like we have. I think we just pitch Feed the Swarm here. What is this? Okay, some sort of didn't see it coming. I'm going to draw another card because I need to hit lands. There we go. That is a decent land. We are low, but I am okay with being low here. Probably means Phyrexian Arena is just not a good play ever. Just going to do this. Force our opponent to cast yet another counterspell. Seems like a good idea. They yet again didn't hit a land. That's super funny. Are you countering this again? Looks like they are. Probably saw it coming. No. Alright, so probably a removal spell? Why are you scared of this? It's not doing anything. It's not doing anything at all. You just gave me an extra card here, right? Like, when I'm hitting you, I'm not... Alright. Let's see here. Probably play Gonti, because it is another scary card, maybe? Yeah. I don't know how scary, but if I can force them to continuously do things. Wash Away. Okay. We don't have a follow-up that's a punish, because they can just bounce it with Teferi, and then I have accomplished nothing. Okay. I really don't think this is a good payoff. Oh, they do. I lose my clue token, actually. Oh, that's annoying. That's kind of funny. I lose my clue token. Alright, well, I have a window to cast Liliana. Is that good? Probably decent, not great. I don't have a way to defend Liliana now, though. It's just not great. I don't know. Do I even do it? I can put, like, something else in play instead. Like Thief of Sanity, Teferi. No, just run out Liliana. It does put a zombie in play. That might end up being impactful. I kind of doubt it, though. I could have, like, killed their commander. I don't see why I would. It's not doing anything. I don't have any counterspells. They finally found a land, and it is tapped. Is that a 2-for-1? I suppose it is. No, it's a 1-for-1 that, like... And then a 1-for-0 later, right? Because the removal spell still had to do a 1-for-1. Okay, they found an answer to Liliana. Kind of a steep one, but it is an answer nonetheless. Yeah, I'll crack this here. I get to kill the Gearhulk, and then I get to hit Teferi with the zombie. I think that's, yeah, that's what we're going to do here. I think that is reasonable. Do I cast the other to... Do I cast this now? Or do I cast Thief? They could have sweepers. I don't know if they're going to, like, run them, though. Opponent seems to have forgotten their Terramorphic Expanse is holding priority. So now we are trapped. My opponent alt-tabs to play Fortnite. They figured it out. Okay. That was a good draw. We're going to kill this Gearhulk. It is a permanent that's very good for us to steal. And I'd rather play Kaito than Teferi, because this they can't deal with immediately, which is really cool. They're reading Zareth like, what? But no, I can't flash it in. Alright, so we have Kaito in play. I can draw, and I think I will to just keep up with our opponent. Playing a 1 or putting a 1/1 in play does not seem like a good idea. Doesn't seem like it's doing anything. Leaving up 2 mana does not do anything, so I can't play instants. Alright, so he's phased out. They probably have an answer to the zombie. Probably. That's a good one with 3 minutes of Teferi, right? Because you can bounce it and, like, spam, I don't know, Approach the Second Sons or something. Let's see what they discard. They discard a Cleansing Nova. Okay, so I wonder if I get to kill Teferi. I feel like I do, because they might want to leave up a counterspell. Let's find out. Nope, looks like we don't get to kill Teferi. Swords is the most annoying card to see. That is very annoying. That's incredibly annoying. But I did get to attack with a creature, so I guess I get to draw a card and not have to discard. Tail's End, okay. Let's see if they counter Thief of Sanity. Okay, this is not... This is a... What is it called? Doomscar? It's not a counterspell. We can't leave up counterspells, so we might as well just... Oh, what is this? Disdainful Stroke. Okay. Not much I could have done about that one. Let's play a land, and no reason to do anything. I do not have Divide by Zero as an option currently. What did they get with Key to the Archive? I'm sure you always cast it the turn you untap Key, or you tend to. Could be is Maelstrom Pulse one of them? Extra turn effect. Okay, they got an extra turn effect. I don't know if this is off of the Key, though. It's hard to kind of, like, tell. Do you bounce Key? You do not. You just plus again. So you cast Doomscar. Yeah, you have to cast Doomscar now. Oh, it's another extra turn effect. Alright. Alright, that was kind of off my radar. Not much I could do about it, but... Sure. Well, this is all really bad. They also get to kill my Kaito. This was just... That was an amazing turn sequence for them. Oh, well, I mean, it was 2 turns, but... Alright, they just don't care about Kaito. I guess I am kind of low. Interesting development from the opponent. Yeah, no, you can do that. We're kind of happy to see that, though. Non-dragons. I have to deal with the cave. No, it doesn't kill me in a single attack. A22 on the Time Warp. Oh, okay, I didn't realize that. Gotcha. So there is a way to know. I guess I'll play Scarab God, because they have to deal with it instantly, otherwise I steal Dream Trawler and win the game. Yeah, we're not dead to anything with this line. And I think I'm going to just make a ninja. No, we're going to just draw. We're just going to draw, because we have cards in hand that are not great. Well, we drew another one that's not great. Actually, that's just worse than everything else in my hand. We have bumped into a bunch of counterspells, which just don't play nicely with Teferi. It's kind of annoying, but there's not much I can do about it. Alright, well, they're willing to do this, which means they have some idea to do something to deny my ability to actually steal this Dream Trawler. I just don't know what it is. Unless they have an answer to that. Alright, so we're going to attempt to kill Teferi, right? Yep. I can cling to dust a creature to gain life. Wow, this actually just happens? Okay. Interesting. I will plus. My creatures come in tapped. My creatures do come in tapped. So I can't cast that. So when I steal something, I don't get it, right? I just don't get it back. Yeah, I think we have to cling now. I think it's a better idea to do it now than later, because it's kind of important that this happens. And I will steal... I think Gear Hulk is something I'm not interested in eating with the Zareth. Or just Scarab God, so I just need to gain life. So I don't die to the, whatever you call it. Alright, so now we can pass. River's Rebuke? Return all non-land permanent... No? I'm not going to Thoughtseize, it put me to 3. And then the cave kills me. Let's bounce that back to hand. Force them to recast it and then be tapped out. Seems like a good idea. Or attempt to do this. Because they can recast it, but then they're tapped out. Okay, so they're gonna put me on another turn cycle of a clock. Maybe just animating Dream Trawler was a better idea. What does this do when it emblem? Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage, search your library for blue or black. Oh, okay. Well, I don't think I have a lot of those, but certainly something I can try. Is there a creature in my graveyard? I'd rather not. Oh, there is. There's Gonti. Okay, so we're gonna eat Gonti. Exiling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then gain enough life to not immediately die. I suppose I'll just ultimate this. No, but I don't think tutoring... Blue or black creature card. I don't even think I have any. Also, I think drawing non... Yeah, I think we're just gonna... See, I can't Thoughtseize again because I'm not at a good life total. We're just gonna draw. Well, that was a good card. That was a good card. It lets me Thoughtseize, actually, doesn't it? It does. When do I gain 2 life? Otherwise, you gain 2 life and scry. I get it. I gain it immediately. Alright, so this is good. Choose a number. Each player sacrifices that many creatures. Okay. Alright, well, I'm going to take that because that's a problem. Let's play this. And then we have Tail's End. We can technically counter the activation of Cave, though that doesn't seem like a great idea, but it's something I guess I can do. I think they should lead with Brainstorm here. No, they don't. Alright. Opponent just scoops. Sweet, we did it. I kind of feel like this is a favorable matchup, and last time we played against it, we just, like, there's a ton of answers to this, and we didn't draw any last game, or last time we played against it, but this time we sort of did. They scooped before they saw the Tail's End as well, which is kind of weird. Should have definitely led with Brainstorm. Scarab God was a good draw, though. And Kaito actually went to Ultimate, so I'm going to look at my deck and see how many targets there were to hit. I don't think there were any. We drew Gonti, Thief of Sanity, and Scarab God. I don't think there was another target I could have ever hit. Hostage Taker could have stolen Key. So there was that. And that would have literally been it. Yes, that was the only other target. So I could have put it into the battle, put it on the battlefield. It comes in tapped. I still key the archive. I cast it, I guess. Alright, so it really wasn't really anything to find. Just continuously to draw is probably just better. It got too big brain for them? Yeah, maybe. Too many decisions. I don't know. Felt like I was in a comfortable zone. I was in my zone. I was in my zone there. Yeah, that's not the real 3 fairy. Yeah, the real 3 fairy is a little bit more annoying. I believe the real one says I can't even cast counterspells on my own turn, right? So it's like just completely obscene. It like denies half of my deck's ability to play Magic the Gathering. Which is probably kind of a mistake. Like, in hindsight, I wonder why they thought that was a good idea. It's like 3 mana, whatchamacallit, 3 mana, I'm not stealing a mana rock, am I? No, I'm not. What is it called? Iona. Yeah, it's Iona. But instead of naming a color, you get to name a whole card type. Iona on turn 3, naming instance. Like, oh, that's cool. That's fun. Alright, their hand is really not good. Nico Ares? Why? What is... Okay, I'm not scared of Nico Ares at all. Or Mass Manipulation. Or a really expensive counterspell or a sweeper. Expansion Explosion is the only one that can be annoying for me, so I'm going to deny that one. And actually, they would probably instantly copy this. Wait a minute, they have no lands. What are you doing? Ooh, this hand seemed horrible. A 6? What is this? This is also a 6? No, it's yes, this is at least a 6. A 6, a 6. A 4, a 4. A 3 that probably wasn't good with double blue, no red. For the 2 cheapest cards in your hand, you had no red for them, and they were the red cards. This is a terrible keep. And then in an expansion, yeah, that was a terrible keep. I would never keep that, even if I had 2 lands. Shoot, I don't even think I'd keep that if I had 3 lands. Especially no red. I don't know. All right. Yeah, you can do that. All right. Well, whatever we did to our deck really worked out because we stopped losing. We like lost the first 3 and then won the next 6 or something. Yeah, the basically get ass blasted by this random 3-mana card that also answers something that you may have done earlier, setting you back immediately while they draw, while Teferi immediately replaces itself. It's just really, really annoying. Alright, this hand is cool, I guess. For some reason I thought Cling to Dust was a discard spell in this spot, but it is not. Which is kind of fine. I'm not totally upset about that. This is the weird discard deck that doesn't do anything until this is in play, right? Like it, I don't know, it's just weird. I mean, you can do both sides of this and be probably fine. I don't know. Making your opponent discard is just... do we get rid of Cling? It's not doing anything. Fine. Play you. Pass turn. Kind of just play off the top. Opponent has nothing. We will definitely cast this. Baleful Mastery in a land don't seem like a good idea. That was not great. That was really good against a discard deck. I will play Castle because I'd rather keep that of all the things to keep. Opponent doesn't know any card in my hand, so hopefully they... Nope. These are both kind of annoying. I guess I'll take that one. We did not draw anything. I would like to leave up a Cling to Dust. And it's not left up right now, but it will be when I discard a card. Which I kind of expect to happen at some point here. They're choosing just to not cast their commander, which is very weird to me. Very weird. Agonizing Remorse. Alright, to... now with the Jace, I can't really pull off the... Yeah, I can't really do that, so... With the Soul Shatter sitting there, it's just a problem. Alright, so now we can leave up Cling to Dust. If that ends up mattering, I don't think it's like terribly great, but... Alright, so if they go... If they top decked a discard spell that like forces me to pitch Jace right off the top, I'm going to be unbelievably upset. Okay, that is not the case. They did draw a... Oh, it is. That's so ridiculous. Yeah, it forces me to pitch that. That's so stupid. I can't believe that. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh. Right off the top. And it was actually... We drew like a bajillion million lands. In the very turn we had a permanent in hand that we didn't want our opponents to steal that wasn't just a land. They played their commander and a discard spell that forces me to discard the one permanent. That's actually insane. That outcome is wild. We drew what we cast like a... Yeah, we'd cast a discard spell the turn prior too. And the turn before that one too. And they had like no discard spells, and they top decked one the moment they cast their commander and it in the same turn sequence. That is obscene. That is obscene. That is so unlikely. Wow. Alright, well, sometimes you're not allowed to win a game. That sucks. We were about to turn it around too, or just start drowning them in card advantage with our arena and the Jace, but nope. Now we're not doing anything. Now we're not playing that game. We play Guardian Idol. If I can avoid shocking myself, I suppose I will, but... You thought they'd mind rot on 3, yeah. You usually don't want to mind rot till your commander's in place so you can actually use your commander for something useful. Do we Gonti or Thief? I think I'm going to Gonti, because it costs more mana, and I instantly get a card. I don't expect Thief to actually do anything. Alright, well, we didn't really hit anything exciting. But I guess this makes me think they're a Super Friends deck now. Wonder if they're playing the cheap Chandras. What? What? Come again? Excuse? Okay. I really need to draw land. I did, thank the Lord. We now get to kind of blow our opponent out of the water. If I did not draw land there, this game would have been really, really bad, but we did, so. We only have, what, 3 or 4 creatures in our deck, too. Opponent has some gonads to just Valky me. That's wild. Alright. I think this is a really good position to be in, though, because now Valky dies. They can recast it, I guess. That's not really doing anything. Yeah, that Ingrath on... Oh, just the land to cast it was colossal. Goldspan Dragon. Okay. Would really like to draw another land here, so that treasure token doesn't tap for a bajillion. Oh, and the preceding one. Okay, we did, so I guess we swing first, because there's no reason not to. And I have to Lily on a -2 and hope there is not an additional haste threat. A removal spell I can live with, a haste threat, not so much. We get to draw a card this way as well, because Gonti dies. This costs a ton of mana on the backside, right? Or does it not? I don't know how that works. I think your commander always just costs 2 more, no matter what side it is. Actually, it looks like that's the case. Yeah. Yeah, that's the case. Well, that was a card that was on my mind, and of course they have it. I can't immediately kill it either, which is really annoying. Oh, I guess I can. Actually, I can tutor... Oh, well, no, I don't want to do that. Alright, we're going to run this out. So our opponent can't Valky it, I guess. Look for a land off of... Well, we have a land in hand. Oh, wait, we can immediately kill it. We can. Thank God I saw that. Oh, thank God. Oh, God. Almost did not see the Guardian Idol attack. That would have been really upsetting. Okay. So they don't... That was their draw for the turn. So they haven't had lands. So they have, like, what, 5 action spells here? We've kind of dealt with the most annoying Planeswalker in this deck, kind of? Okay, never mind. We did not deal with it, because our opponent found a way to get it back. Oh no, they only get Angrath, because they only have 5 snow. Yeah, they get Angrath, which is fine. Actually, they should have probably just gotten Goldspan Dragon. I don't even think I would have gotten Angrath here. It seems kind of weird. Unless you can't choose. No, you could have chose. I don't agree with your choice. Really don't. Obviously, you have to deal with this now. And no reason to swing. I'll just leave up Cling to Dust. I don't know if they're more graveyard-centric than, whatever. Alright, so they've drawn 2 lands in a row so far. Kamigawa Commander? Like as a format? What do you mean? The Kamigawa Commander? Isn't there like 25? I don't know what you're talking about. I've played a few of them. That is really weird. That is a really weird card. Okay. I guess I'll take Blood in the Snow. Yeah. I can't Angrath steal this if I ever go to, like, Zareth steal something. Alright, never mind. Problem solved. Alright, so I'm going to leave up my Commander and a Murderous Rider. Our opponent can play Valky or Tybalt this turn if they've drawn another land, which would be 3 lands in a row. I'm not going to take 7. I'm just not going to do that. Zareth still technically kind of deals with their commander, sort of. Looks like a removal spell is in hand, or maybe more than one. I know of a tutor in my hand, which is... eh. Yep, that's not really a surprise. When you only have like one creature, your opponent just piles up on dead removal that you kind of turn online with a card that is in your command zone. Alright, so we can just do the same thing again, or I can tutor for something on 5 or less. Can he kill... No, I can't. Alright, so I'll go get Jace. Opponent has a Castle Locthwain, so I don't want to just slowly fall behind. Yeah, whatever. Let's do this. I have not played a land this turn, so I can still maybe find one. I don't think I really need one. Probably scry one at the bottom. Also, I kind of... yep, I was going to say, I'd expect like just infinite removal, because I haven't really put anything in play, and our opponent hasn't really done anything. This is a good card, but currently not, given our opponent can just cast Tibalt and then make us lose. That is a good card against Tibalt. That is annoying against us, but not the end of the world. Found the land. They can't just cast Tibalt because I kill it with Ujin, and it can't kill Ujin. It is not an artifact or a creature. Opponent realizes this. Alright, so we get to kind of amass some card advantage this way. I get to flash in Zareth at some point. Yeah, I'll just cast this. Play my land. Swing. I can't do anything at all, so I might as well swing with this. Seems reasonable. Opponent is kind of getting low. We do have sort of a board they have to deal with. So now they need a sweeper, which gives us cards, and they can't go for their commander. They drew another land. And Zareth still has very good targets to steal if that ever becomes a thing. We're attacking our opponent at a lot of different angles here. Never mind. Everything just got undone. Alright. We get some decent cards to our hand, which is kind of cool, I guess. A little expensive, though, but not really surprising. Yeah, we're gonna do this. Still have absorb energy up for their commander, unless they have a discard spell, which they could. But when your opponent has 2 cards in hand, this feels like a pretty good move. Crux of Fate, and they don't want to get rid of this card. So we know of that card in hand. They could have just pitched it, but they chose not to. So they gave us a land there. It is a man land that is pretty solid. So it's reasonable, I guess. Alright, so now Tibalt costs 600 trillion mana. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, it costs 11. We are unable to activate this because you need red. I could find the other Thriving card, or bounce this somehow and get red that way. Okay, that's another way for them to loot and a mana source. Terror of the Peaks. Okay, sure. Alright, let's run this out and then untap Soul Shatter. And then get to hit them and steal stuff. Probably steal just a thing that incurs a ton of threat, like this thing. I can make them discard the last card in their hand, but I don't really care about it. Because it's Den of the Bugbear, which they, for some reason, didn't play. I don't know why. Crack this now? Nah, I'll just pass. Defend myself from a removal or a reanimate spell of some kind. Alright, so they drew another land. We know this is Den of the Bugbear still. They can play Tybalt now? Oh, I thought that was Den of the Bugbear. That was just literally Ulamog. My opponent's just playing Ulamog. Okay. Yep, I can't do anything about that. Well, not gonna lie, that was kind of unexpected. Guess I'll just cycle this on something. I need to find an answer to that. They're almost just dead on board, but they're not dead on board, so... That is technically an answer, but not a very good answer. Not really. I can force them to... No, I think we just pass here. Yeah, I think we just pass, and then I can, They chose to loot, huh? They looted away a brash taunter. Okay. So they can't really attack, so that's pretty nice. They can cast Tybalt, but Tybalt's not doing anything currently, because it cost all their mana to do it. They should probably just activate Locthwain. Activate Locthwain, and then, like, find a card with the Celestials. Okay, you can't attack here, you're just dead. You're literally dead on board. Oh, maybe you're not. You're like one away from being dead on board. I still don't think I would attack, though. It seems kind of silly. Why are you attacking me? Seems a little reckless, but I don't know. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing. I do take 10 if I don't block it immediately, and then the statue can, like, slowly kill me. They stole an extra turn? Dude, I can't catch a break. They stole an extra turn. Alright, well, I basically have to bounce... I have to, like, bounce Ulamog now, because I'm just, like, in a pickle if I don't do that. Alright, we drew a bajillion bounce effects. It's a 2-turn clock. Whether or not I activate the Guardian Idol, no reason to do it. There's no punish in attacking. There's no haste threat that it can draw that I can just immediately, like, not just deal with. So we'll do this. I can steal their Ujin, kill Tybalt. Is there a way I can, like, surprise kill them with this? Not really. It does make it so they can't attack. Oh, no, they... No, because then I'm not dealing with that. Angrath puts them to 1. Oh, so I did punt. I could have killed him with Angrath plus and swung with the Guardian Idol. So now I have to do something else. Oh, that was really bad, huh? Yeah, that was actually just really bad. Wow. Can't believe I didn't see that. Alright. Yeah, no, whoops. That was just really dumb. Is there anything I can do? Nope, just this thing. Yeah, I just punch it. Oh god, please don't make me lose for that. Alright, so I'm going to bounce... I think both their cards here. I have to bounce this, right? Yeah. So I can just bounce that first. Lands, not great. Then I can bounce... I can't kick this, because I have to cast the other bounce spell in my hand. Oh, I can't now? I don't have enough mana? Well, this is all terrible. I have done myself so dirty with the lines that I have made. Wow, unbelievable. I can't believe I missed lethal. Just activate this, swing, and Angrath. So they were dead on board, and they still swung into it. And I just punted back. Because I didn't see the line. It's unbelievable. I knew Angrath was in there. I mean, I saw it. And I don't know why I thought I had more mana to do this. I probably shouldn't have kicked the first one then. Does this do anything? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yup. Oh, I'm dead? I'm just dead. Because this triggers twice. I'm just dead. I'm dead. Unbelievable. Yep. Our opponent punted by swinging, and then we punted back by not killing them. Wow. I can't believe I didn't see that. I couldn't even steal Ujin. My idea was to steal Ujin, which was not in their graveyard anymore. So I could blow up Tybalt and then just, you know, not have to deal with it. But we were dead to the extra turn they stole regardless, because we go to 2 life, and they take an extra turn, and we just lose to that. So I kind of just... My line actually left me dead, regardless of what my opponent did or did not do. So I actually just made a mistake, and then I didn't capitalize on their attack, and then yeah, that was... So there was like 3 turns where I punted 2 in a row and our opponent punted 1. That's so bad. Oh, that sucks. I'm glad I saw it, though. You know, it's not like I didn't see the line later. Although it's kind of weird I saw the line immediately. That's kind of annoying. Kind of wish I didn't see it immediately. It's just... Had me all bent out of shape for the next 3 years. There's no way you counter this. Okay. I keep both of these because for some reason all of the Nicol Bolas decks are Super Friends, which I don't even quite agree with. But yeah, it's certainly a thing. There's been a lot of Super Friends decks, actually. At least they're playing this one, which I think is way better than the other one. The 7-mana one, that is, that you see played a ton for some reason. Alright, so they're willing to get into a fight over my commander before there's an actual graveyard. Memory Deluge. It's only 2 cards. I don't think I like discarding or countering card draw. We should probably be running Memory Deluge, maybe. I don't know. Instead of like my tutor, my Masterminds acquisition, we can just run Deluge instead. It's probably just better. I don't know. We have a Hive of the Eye Tyrant. What are they going to take here? My extra turn? Probably, but I don't really care because I'm going to invest my whole turn into swinging with Zareth. And Time Warp looks scary, but it's not really doing anything when I don't have a board. I mean, these are all kind of redundant. Yep, they took the card. I think they took the card that is like the worst to take here. I would never take that card here. I think it would actually be the last card I take. But people are so like scared of this just because of what it is. But it's in reality not doing anything at all. Especially how you saw my hand and you know I don't have a way to make you discard anything that I can reanimate with Zareth. And they still want to counter this. Yeah, I just completely disagree with my opponent's entire turn. With that in mind, I think I will tutor now and just not cast the card I tutor for. It'll probably be the 2-mana discard 2. Or it could be one of these. These are totally reasonable as well. In a spot like this. Actually, that I'm not opposed to that. I could even get another counterspell, but one of these is... Alright, let's just get Kaito and pass. More creature decks in the tryhard queue. Halana and Elena got at it. Oh, yeah. It's funny that it's noticeable. Like, oh, look, it's not all Keenan. That's funny. I haven't looked at that the S tier bucket list in who knows how long. Okay, well, they know about 2 counter spells, so they know whatever they're trying to do won't work. I have no idea why you would deliberately run into a counterspell in that turn. That seems very strange to me. Seems extremely weird. Do I fight back? Do I fight back? Nah, let's just... It's not like it's going away. Yeah, that's fine. They currently don't know of a counter spell that can counter their Nicol Bolas, right? So, oh, they don't go for it though. All right, I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna do this again. I will make a 1/1. Let's see if they have removal spells, and let's see if it's worth it to them to try to kill it. They make a 4/4 shark. Do I kill the 4/4 shark? I kind of want to. I think I am going to do that. I think we're just gonna whoop. Could have waited, because this is phased out, but I think that's fine. Gonti? Alright, sure. I don't think I would have countered that one. Alright, so probably not blocking with this token. So I'll just swing, see if I can get myself a card here. We're both kind of going back and forth with value. It's kind of funny. And we pass. They did put me in a position where I might have to deal with Gonti, which is annoying, because I don't really want Kaito to die. Yep. I suppose I will do that, or attempt to do it. They don't even hesitate to fight over it or nothing. Play a land. Angrass Rampage, sacrifice a... no, I think I'm gonna not do that. I think I would like to continuously draw an endless stream of cards off of my Phyrexian Arena that I have allowed my opponent to somewhat try to kill because I didn't actually get Phyrexian Arena, which might have just been better given the fact that my opponent is a Grixis deck that doesn't really deal with enchantments at all. So maybe Phyrexian Arena was just better, but life total could be relevant. I'm going to deny this card because that is kind of a problem. It does give him a 2/2, but I don't really care. I think this is the first time I've ever Swan Songed in my entire life. Yeah, I think it was. I don't think I've ever cast Swan Song. Man, they went to combat real quick. No. Oh wow, they stole a counterspell. Of course they did. What a surprise. Oh look, something that would have been really helpful, now it's not. Yep, of course, of course, of course. Well, I guess everything we tried to do did not matter, and now we're losing. Yep. Opponent untaps with 5 cards in hand, and a commander that will now flip into a massive threat that I can't deal with. And I lose my Phyrexian Arena. Great. Good old Gonti, stealing the best card of all time. Alright, well, I can't really let them do that right now. Though they did choose to try to do that instead of something else, which is interesting. I guess I put it in the command zone. Redrawing it seems like a stupid idea. Oh look, Swan Song, coming to punish me in the long run. Great. Well, I have to draw now, find something. Don't even know what I can find. Yep. Cast this, they lose that, they flip this, I'm dead. Whatever. That's annoying. Yep, just Gonti stole the best card of all time, and we lose. I guess we could have... No, I don't think there was any other line. I could have had, like... No, they had a counterspell regardless of what I did. It didn't matter. Yep, nope, nothing I can do. Whatever. I can, like... Yeah, no, if I didn't have to... No. We just lost. We just ran out of resources and lost. Phyrexian Arena was arguably better as a target, but, I mean, I could have gotten a whole slew of different cards there. It wasn't just, like... one right answer, and you never know what's good. I just got what I thought was going to keep me in the game, and it did draw me a lot of cards, and it just didn't matter. We still just ran out of cards. And of course we drew Eldest Reborn when our opponent has a token, right? Like, we can't draw it early or anything. Ugh, so frustrating. That is not what I expected at all. That is quite surprising. Allosaurus Shepherd? What? Oh, green spells can't be countered. Okay, so there's like a reason to play it. It's not an elf deck. It's just this like annoying card, I guess. Alright, I mean, yeah, it's gonna work here because I do have counterspells in my deck, I guess. Yep. Alright, well, I mean, you don't keep an Azusa hand unless you have a payoff, and I guess they didn't have one, so they just scooped. That's really funny. They didn't have a payoff for Azusa, which is the whole reason you play Azusa. And I guess Thief of Sanity, they felt like I was going to just start stealing their stuff off the top. That would just make me never lose, right? If they don't have an answer to Thief, I can just keep up with them with their massive threats by playing theirs. Although I'm kind of way out of ever actually casting one. I don't think I would scoop there. You can still see what you draw for the turn. It's not like I can counter anything. Still an abysmal spot to be in for them, I suppose. I guess the feeling of being hit by Thief of Sanity is so, like, devastating they didn't even want to try, but really not the end of the world for them. I will turn 2 Thoughtseize because hitting a Mana Rock in this specific deck is a little bit better than the previous ones. I don't really care about Syncopate or any... Yeah, just take the card draw spell here. Syncopate is not very scary. It'll probably wind up being annoying, but not the end of the world. Think it was Allosaurus Rider, and you're gonna get Gristlebrand? Yeah. Okay. You had the same feelings about Swan Song. Never had value out of it, so you punish your opponent with a bird more often than not. I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that. It is kind of annoying, but that was the first time I ever cast it, so. Yeah, you're not going to do anything. Alright, draw this card. There's no way you syncopate. It's probably... Would you syncopate? Even if you knew my hand, would you syncopate this? I don't know. Well, opponent says yes. Sure. That is totally fine. That's a exchange I was very willing to make, so... I actually turned 1 Thoughtseize them, and I currently have no idea what their hand is. That's really crazy. Turn 1 Thoughtseize, and they have 4 cards in hand I don't know about. There's only like 3 turns later. I have no idea of any card in hand. Prismari Command, sure. Did they pick a treasure? They did, yeah. They pitched a young Pyromancer. Okay. Let's see if I can't... whoop. Oh no. Oh no, that's really bad actually. That's actually really bad. Shoot. Shucks. Alright, please don't have another counterspell. Looks like they might not, but we'll find out real quick. Doesn't really matter which attempt I make at this thing's life, so I'll just lead with this one. Doesn't really matter which one. Great, so they just have infinite counterspells. Their opening hand had 1. Uh-huh. Oh, look, another answer. I will attempt to cast it, because that is all I'm going to be doing. Alright, well, they got obscene amount of value out of it. What is that? Riptide Laboratory. Turn a wizard you control to its hand? That seems like a counterintuitive idea. Of everything I want to get Counterspell, I think Gonti would be the one, so I'm going to cast that. They also have nothing I can steal with my commander except the young Pyromancer, which just seems really bad. They're willing to Tails End Gonti. That's very strange. That's really weird. I feel like you can easily beat that card and still leave Tails End in your hand. Okay. See if I can't Bantu's it. It's a weird turn to try. I can just try to, like, Vadric kill it. Or, I mean, Ashiok kill it. Alright. I really would like to draw a land next turn, because my entire everything is 5 mana. Alright, well, that's not a land, but it's not horrible. I think it's the first time I ever cast Bantus for 4. No, I don't think we can afford to let that happen. We got the treasure token out of the way, too. Opponent has nothing going on. I will attempt to cast my commander next turn, so let's see here. Practical Research. No. Okay. Not really a surprise there. At least it's not terribly scary. Alright, so let's see if Ashiok can stick. Looks like yes. And then goes up to 6, which is a nice number to be on. Valakut's Awakening, I think I will deny that. A braid in response? Okay, that's fine. Alright, so they get a 2-2, but obviously that's better than them just reshuffling their entire hand. But it is kind of an annoying 2-2. I could, like, get rid of it forever, but I don't want to do that. Actually, the minus... Return a non-land permanent, and then the exile card. So it actually... They do go down a card in hand. Oh, no. Never mind. Never mind. Alright, so I'm going to run this out now to avoid a counterspell. I think that's reasonable. Nope. Well. That was their draw for the turn. Oh, don't be a sorcery speed answer. They have a blocker for it, right? It's not... Yeah, they can just simply block it. Oh, good old Swan Song. Alright, well, I'm going to obviously try to Time Warp. It's not doing anything anymore, and if I can just get to attack again, it seems like a good idea. Sublime Epiphany? Oh my god. Let's take Behold the Multiverse, I guess. I could have taken Devil's Play. I don't expect that to kill me, though. But it was probably right to take that, obviously. So I put it to my hand. And a pass. This is a very back and forth game. Their commander isn't doing too much anymore. I will just cast this to stop the counter from being set on their turn, or my turn, because like however this reads and whatnot. The day-night cycle, that's very confusing. Okay. They cast a spell, which is currently just cycling. Alright, I'm going to eat this Devil's Play now before I can't, and then I feel bad. It should have already been eaten, though. That was a mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this even worth protecting? Okay. Hand short. Might not be. It looks like they're not doing it regardless. Alright, well they have 1 card in hand. Well, now 2. Alright, looks like they have nothing. Or it's all instant speed. Let's cycle this. Nope, they have something castable. That is a decent one. I will just minus it instead of plus if it resolves. I don't know. We'll see. It resolved. Yeah, I'm certainly just going to minus. If they have a burn spell to kill it after, that's fine. I'm just going to... Okay, they put it to their hand. That is totally fine with me. I don't really see the appeal of that. I don't see the point. It's just undoing the entire point of actually playing Vadric. Like, I could just bounce it here again with Feed the Swarm. And I think I will. Yeah, because when it's not in play, if this is an extra turn card, I am fine. And Feed the Swarm isn't doing anything else anyways. So that seems reasonable. And we pass. Oh, look, it's an extra turn. What a surprise. It currently does not kill Liliana. This has been a very long game. My god. Alright, look at the top. What? 6. Put something in their hand. There's a few red spells that deal with Planeswalkers. And that is one of them. Any target that was kicked, yeah. That'll finish the deal. Looks like they're not going to use it though. That's very weird. I don't see why. You want to kick this? What are you trying to do here? I don't understand. Yeah, it looks like they really want to kick it. I don't know why you would let me untap Liliana here. Alright, let's try to eat something again, just to continue to draw. Oh wait, no, I want to eat something that's like really good with Gear Hulk, like an extra turn or something. No, eat the Epiphany. This game has been awesome. It's been very back and forth, I'll tell you that much. They have consistently had more cards in hand than us, so... Negate. I don't think I would negate that. Denying me some card, like just one card, doesn't seem like a good idea. Okay, they could have done that and not swung with the birds, so I don't really know what's going on. I feel like they're going to block this with... No, but they're not going to, though. They're just going to snap, let this happen. If I'm going to Crux of Fate, I don't want to steal Young Pyromancer. Do I have to Crux of Fate? Not necessarily. But I think I'm just going to put the land in play in Crux of Fate. Non-dragon. Yeah. Put this to my command zone. They have to do the same thing. There's some cards I can find instantly, so let's just do this now. Let's take out you. Mizzix's Mastery makes us lose instantly. So, if they ever find it, I'm kind of screwed. And oh wow, we actually drew a discard spell. Oh my god. Immolating Gyre. Let's not lose to that one. Alright, they cast Vadric for 6,000 mana. River's Rebuke is a sorcery, so I'll respect it to the best of my abilities here. I can't realistic... Wait, what? Oh, they top decked a counterspell. Of course they did. Drown in the Loch kills Vadric. But I think we can do a Young Pyromancer thing here, because it's going to get another counter and I can't, like, stop it, so... Oh, no, it doesn't get a counter. I got confused. They found another answer? Did you not realize I could do this? Looks like they punt it here. They can't put a counter. They can't put a counter on it only at sorcery speed. Ah, hey! Oh my god. Yep, they probably just shame conceded because they swung and they have no answer to this. Did they swing on accident? Did they not realize I could recast it? That must have been the case. Activate only as a sorcery, and if you've cast it as a sorcery spell this turn. Oh yeah, GG. Man, that was crazy. 58 cards. They saw 10 more cards than us, and we still pulled ahead. Where was our, like, crazy value? Honestly, Swan Song, yet again, the 2/2 was a little bit annoying. It denied me hitting them with Zareth for a single turn. We only hit them once ever with Zareth, and there was nothing to steal except something that would have just gotten blown up instantly. So that's crazy. The game went on that long, and I still couldn't stick this stupid thing. Now, it doesn't have any targets in their deck. Young Pyromancer would have been good here, though, because... Well, now, if they didn't swing, and I get Young Pyromancer when I swing back, then I can Drown in the Loch this. But then they get to pick up their Young Pyromancer with a River's Rebuke, so I probably don't even do that. I just try to hit them and beat them to death. And maybe steal some lands along the way, although I don't think they had any. Yeah, that was crazy. Oh my god. That was a bajank. That was insane. Right at the 2-hour mark, too. So I think that will be the last game. But yeah, the second half, like whatever we did to change the deck, or maybe just the first 3 games we just didn't have favorable matchups. I don't know. It felt really good. Zareth was... I mean, I tend to just do that. Every single commander I play isn't super relevant to the strategy. It's like, you know, oh, doing a control thing or some other thing that doesn't demand my commander be in play. And it's just like this alternate thing your opponent has to be wary of constantly, much like Chromium. I kind of want to revisit Chromium because Kamigawa did have more cards... There's more cards in Esper for Chromium, but in Kamigawa than usually, like, because a set doesn't bring a ton of cards to like an EDH deck that much, but for Chromium specifically, I feel like Kamigawa actually did. But I'll have to look again. So Spell Swindle, I was trying to like get people with it, right? They think I'm going to cast Zareth and I'm going to Spell Swindle instead. And they're like, oh, I don't care if you play this 4/4. I'm just going to cast a big creature. And then you just Spell Swindle it. But we never had that happen. Swan Song, for the most part, kind of felt like it would have been better if it was like a Dispel. Like the card literally Dispel or something. Is Dispel in this game? Hold up. Is Dispel in Magic Arena? It is not. Wow. It's not in here. Yeah, just 1 mana counter target instant is what that card reads. For those who don't know. Spell Pierce even? No. Opponent was playing X spells, but that's the whole point of Vadrik, I guess. That's kind of reasonable. What do we really not like? I think Swan Song is still good enough. I think the card's like $30 on paper too, which is crazy. Opt does look a little weird. I was just like running out of ideas, or running out of cards that I felt really good about. So I just kind of tossed in that. I don't like Brainstorm with really no shuffled effect. The extra turn and Time Warp is fine. I don't like the 7 mana one, because I can't immediately cast it off the same turn I go to Zareth San. And it's just a steep cost at 7. Right? Like, oh, I cast Liliana, then the next turn's like a whole extra turn, and I don't know. Not terribly exciting. Bantu's felt fine. I think I only cast it once, right? It basically is just a board wipe. Actually, the turn I cast it against the Vadrik deck, I had 2 5-mana cards in play, or in hand, and a 5-mana commander, and I only had, 7 mana, so I was like 1 off from being able to double up on something, which is really, really annoying. The way that just panned out, but still won that game, I guess. Exile effects don't really play nicely with Zareth unless I'm simply exiling their commander. So are there alternatives to like Feed the Serpent that don't... Yes, there are actually. Feed the Serpent should have just been Downfall, actually, because it's the same exact card, except it's Destroy and not Exile, which is better, and it's 3 instead of 4. That's just way better, and I'm surprised I didn't think of that. Must have not realized the way I was filtering through my deck. Or filtering through cards to pick. Eat to Extinction and Vraska's Contempt are also exile effects. They're also on 4. Maybe we can find better ones. I would like to stick with removal. that probably says destroy and not exile. Wash Away? Yeah, Wash Away is probably better than Opt. I wouldn't say Swan Song. That's probably better than Opt, though. Another card that wasn't on my radar. Wasn't thinking about it. Just completely wasn't thinking about it. I should always refer to similar decks before I, like, just start at 0 to 100. Like, I should go look at a blue black list I have and see the cards I've got going on, because there's obviously a ton of overlap with my style of play. And, I forget half the cards every time. Too many cards, dude. Too many cards. Too many cards. Alright, so this is a sorcery, but it does the same thing. I think I can live with that instead of one of these exile effects. Probably this one. And then Contempt can be something else. Even a sacrifice spell is fine, kind of. Though you don't get to choose, and it usually is not great. I have liked Drown in the Loch. We could try something like Mirror Shield, but if our opponent never lets us untap with Zareth, then it doesn't really matter if you're trying to give it a hexproof, which we found out pretty early with all our hexproof spells we dropped. People seem to be just like incorrectly scared of Zareth too. There's plenty of opponents I feel like it doesn't matter. Like I cast Zareth and I hit you for 4 and I steal nothing. Or like a land. Like it doesn't matter. But people just feel like they need to instantly deal with it. And the only reason I think that is a reasonable thing to do is if they assume I'm going to play a bunch of mill cards after I've untapped with it, and then mill them for like 4 or 10, and then hit them, but I'm not going to do that. Honestly, every single scenario that it was like grindy and back and forth, every time I would have drawn a mill card, it was just one less card that actually does anything. Unless I specifically mill something impactful with Zareth, which is not terribly often. Key to the City? Key to the City. Makes it unblockable. I pitch a card to it. You can replace the card immediately too. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I think there's better equipment that give this evasion, or simply, do you have to target a creature? You don't. You don't have to target a creature. Wait a minute. How come I've never seen this? 2 mana, and just pay 2. So it's like a Maze Mind's Tome that never ends? Right? It's a Maze Mind's Tome that never ends. You have to loot. You don't go up a card. But that's pretty reasonable. I actually just quite like this card as is. I don't think this would be the deck for it, but that's actually just one of those cards I'd put into Alela, or Alela, whatever, because it's like a rock that cycles and loots. Surprised I have not seen this. I think it saw play in Standard with like the is it Embalm? Is that the term? Yeah, here it is. Eternalize. Like when this was in Standard, I think Key to the City saw play. I think. It's been a while. That was back when we played Paper Tournament still. Did I put Wash Away in here? I did. But yeah, I think there's better evasion. Like gains flying. I think there's an equipment for that or something, right? Oh, or maybe not. I thought there was. Is there not? Is there really no equipment that like gives evasion? There has to be. Cobbled Wings. I feel like this would be a little bit better. There's a few times where I don't have a card I'd want to discard, and this might just kind of do something similar that I don't have to actually invest pitching a card to do, especially if I don't have the ability to draw a card. Like I need to leave my mana up to do something else. But giving Zareth evasion doesn't feel super relevant. Like even if they're... Because it's all about resources, and if my opponent's like chump blocking Zareth, I'm still gaining resources. I might not be gaining as big of a resource because I didn't steal like Ulamog, but I'm making my opponent like sacrifice things to like... I put my opponent in the abyss and just sacrifice a creature every turn. I could do Helm of the Host even, but that's really steep. And just spam Zareths that wind up not stealing anything because our opponent's playing like Vadric and I steal a land. Yeah, but surprisingly not much in the way of evasion with equipment. And I'm obviously not going to stick an aura to him. Like Kaya's ghost form, whoops, is another decent one. Come on, it's not hard. There you go. Right? And Madrotha loves this because you can spam it forever and make Madrotha very difficult to deal with. In this instance, it would just be a sorcery speed like thing. I mean, this isn't evasion, but it makes it hard to die, I guess. Slow rebuilding, yeah. Put Opt back in. Siren? No. Maybe another removal spell. That was my initial idea. There's the one that like non whatever, it's like Victim of Night, but probably better. Ay, ay, ay. I can't remember the name of it. Power word kill. Angel, Demon, Devil, Dragon. Usually kills everything. I think this kills more than Victim of Night, which was Vampire, Zombie, Werewolf. This is Angel, Demon, Devil, Dragon. I think this actually kills more than Victim of Night. And Victim of Night is double black. This is not. A little different there. Yeah, I think for now that's coming in. I was going to think about Nafri's Betrayal, or even Thought Eraser is fine. Maybe Thought Eraser is better, because we are running all the discard spells. Check for Trap, Agonizing Remorse, Thoughtseized Duress. I don't like Inquisition, never will in this format. I don't even like Inquisition in regular EDH, although I think it is better there. Thought Eraser. I think I like that more than Power Word Kill. Something else I really don't like? Spell Swindle is actually not great. I did not craft that, I just had one. Yeah, that's fine. I think that's fine. But yeah, I'm going to call it there. I liked it, and there was a ton of cards here that I'm totally happy with. Oh, wait. Mastermind should be... Oh, come on. Memory Deluge. Almost forgot the name of it again. Memory Deluge. I think it is just slightly better. It's instant speed. It gets you 2 cards instead of 1. And who knows? You might end up picking a card that you wouldn't have tutored for it, or would have tutored for it, or the less choices the better, because you're less likely to make a mistake. I don't see my whole deck. I only see 7. Or 4 and then 7. So, less likely to make a mistake. Heartless Act is better? Yeah, +1/+1 counterspells probably... Yes, counterspells. +1/+1 counters are probably even less common than those creature types. I would probably agree with that, yeah. I would agree with that. So if I was going to pick one, I'd probably pick that one. Oh, I guess I wasn't done. I don't really care for Hostage Taker all that much. I have no way to spam it. I can like reanimate it later with a Scarab God or something, but I have no way to bounce it or blink it. With this in the same deck, it would be kind of cool, but he's not in the deck. He's in the command zone, so I can't pick this up. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like a cool ninjutsu target, but we're not really actually doing that. This guy technically has ninjutsu, but not like literally has it, so it's kind of weird. Oh, it has to be a rogue. It literally has to be a rogue. It can't be any creature. Okay, so it is actually nothing like ninjutsu. But yeah, let's drop that and put in a removal spell, and I guess I would agree that Heartless Act is indeed better than Power Word Kill. Okay, now I'm done. Yeah, everything felt fine. The curve felt fine. I think we got rid of cards that wound up being really bad, and it paid off quite nicely in the long run. Cling to Dust felt very good every time I cast it. It was just like this spamming, cyclable thing that could amass card advantage, attack cards that may be a problem for us, while also keeping Zareth active to steal something else. The bounce spells felt decent, although the one time we used them, we kind of messed up with that Tybalt thing where we punted and did not win the game. Yeah, Gonti feels good. That stealing thing. Thief of Sanity kind of just won against Azusa as is, which is hilarious. And discards and counters felt good. So yeah. Cosmo Elixir is your favorite card. It's up there for me. It really is. The scrying makes me really like it, and that's not how the card works in paper, which is infuriating. So this card is not as exciting for me, but all right, I'm not going to keep ranting. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought about the deck, and I will see you next time. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get to 500 subs. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.